Good morning. Are you Rebecca Simons?
Yes, sir.
I'm Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse. Your lawyer, Luke Knopfinger, is here with me, as well as Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert. You got charged with possession of methamphetamine on June 15th in Sturgis. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. Prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of use of methamphetamine. Which is a misdemeanor. That's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to plead guilty to that charge?
Yes, sir.
Did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to that charge?
No.
Or promise you anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, you're going to give up all the advice of rights that your lawyer went through with you earlier today?
Yes.
There won't be a trial. All right. You were in a car with some other people and you got pulled over in Sturgis. Had you used some methamphetamine prior to that?
I actually was given that earlier that day and from somebody else, but I have been clean since January 9th, but I was going to relapse. It was a lapse of judgment. So in a way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise that it all happened, to be honest with you, Your Honor.
All right. So you hadn't used it, but you had some in your possession?
Yes.
Where were you going?
To the store, to the party store right up the road.
All right. Who are these people you were with?
Honestly, I had just met them. Like I had just met Eric Rainey that night. I didn't even have any exchange of words. I didn't know him. And Cheyenne, I had met her like a week and a half prior.
Well, how did you end up in Sturgis?
I was down here on and off for the past year because of my ex-fiance. He worked down here, but him and I had broken up and I just kind of ended up here, honestly.
All right. Were you actually living here or just sort of staying with people? Who is your ex-fiance?
Eric Pruitt.
Okay.
I have a no contact order on him.
All right. Now, you were wanted in Oakland County?
I thought it was Tuscola County.
Tuscola County.
Yeah,
all right. I
it's
couldn't.
Tuscola.
For auto theft?
UDAA.
Yeah, that was my ex's vehicle that I took.
Well, don't tell me any more about it.
Okay.
Is this the same ex or a different ex?
A different one. It was more of a friend.
All right. Well, this is a case of you being in the wrong place with the wrong people at the wrong time.
Yes. It really was. It was a very poor decision on my part.
You've been in our jail for 17 days. I'm inclined to let you go back to Tuscola and deal with your issues there. I believe there's a hold on you from that county.
There is, Judge.
Our office isn't seeking anything additional.
Thank you. You say you've been here on and off for a year. Have you worked anywhere down here?
Not down here, in Marcellus.
Oh, you've been all over the place. I haven't met you before. I know some of the people you were with.
Yeah. I hope I never meet you again, not on these terms anyways.
Where did you work in Marcellus?
I worked for TCG&I. It's a DCW. I did direct care work there. I worked there for over a year.
All right, well, I'm gonna go order 17 days credit, 17 days, zero fine, $125 for 2 additional days, waiving the attorney fee also,
Thank you.
may be released to Tuscola County. Do you have any questions?
No, Your
All right. They'll contact Tuscola and probably the next day or so you'll be transferred to there. This
Okay.
matter's done. This will go on your criminal record as a use of methamphetamine misdemeanor charge.
Okay,
All
thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Joshua Michael Dieter?
I'm Jordan, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jordan Michael Dieter. I apologize. That's you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm here with your lawyer, Luke Knopfinger. Your father's also here in the courtroom. He's been waiting all morning. Also present is Chief Assistant Prosecutor Joshua Robert. You're charged with resisting and obstructing police officers. It is alleged that in this file number, which is 2401027 FY, that you did resist or obstruct Keenan Morrill, a deputy sheriff in the village of Burr Oak. That's a felony punishable by up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to $2,000. The plea offer is to attempted resisting obstructing.
That's correct.
That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Are you going to plead to that misdemeanor charge of attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer? Mr. Dieter? Are you going to plead to that misdemeanor charge of attempting to resist, obstruct a police officer?
Yeah.
Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No.
Or promise you anything?
No.
All right, well, let's talk about this. At about, I guess, what is that? 8 o'clock at night. They were dispatched to a Front Street address for someone trying to steal a car. And they saw you and you took off and they yelled, "Stop, police." And then you ran through the woods in a drainage ditch and you took off. Then you got found later and gave a false name. And then you were looking at other cars over there. So did you run away from Officer Morrill there in Burr Oak?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because I was off my meds.
Were you trying to find a car to take?
I thought I thought people were trying to hurt me.
All right. Then you ended up in Sturgis. And when the Sturgis cops came, did you give them a false name?
No.
All right. Well, running from the officer is enough. I don't know what I'm dealing with here. Mr. O'Bear, what are the people looking for here?
It looks like he's been in custody since this happened around the 17th or 16th. I don't know if a probation would be helpful to help him get on track with his meds, if the court wants to do that. Otherwise, I'd leave it up to your discretion, Judge.
Well, they also originally lodged you on false ID to police officer and attempted motor vehicle theft. Didn't look like either of those things were authorized. Luke, what's your position?
Well, there's some mental health issues, Judge, involved, obviously. He says this to the officers, says, I have schizophrenia. And in fairness to when asked about why he gave a fake name, he said, I don't remember doing that. Speaking to him, I know the court's familiar with the R&O statute. This is him simply fleeing. He didn't assault any officers or anything to that effect. I would ask the court to consider the jail time that he has spent in. He has a limited criminal history. I think mental health can be a focus for a probation. Court can also recognize it for what it is.
Mr. Dieter, were you working anywhere?
Not at the time.
Have you worked?
Yeah,
What kind of work have you done?
factory work.
You live in Burr Oak?
Yeah.
What do you do there?
Nothing. I just help with my family.
All right, your father is here. Mr. Dieter, why don't you come up to the podium? Right there. Would you state your name?
Dale Dean Dieter.
And you're Jordan's father?
Yes, sir.
What would you like me to know?
I'm not sure if he really needs probation. He needs his meds, yes. He just got out of a mental hospital probably a month ago. He'd been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he gets this sleep insomnia. I actually just talked to him when he was in jail about getting power of attorney over him.
Okay. Where was he in a mental hospital?
It's the third time he's been in. He's been up at Pine Rest twice, and he is over in St. Joe once.
That's all in 2024?
Huh?
But that's all this year?
No, he's in there once this year.
Okay.
And it was 4 years ago, he's over in St. Joe.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dieter, you're gonna need to get back on, you go ahead and have a seat. I think what you were doing is because you're not working, you don't have any money. I think you were looking to steal something out of cars in daylight, and they came to get you and you took off. Then you got a ride to Sturgis, and then you were trying to do the same thing in Sturgis. You were looking into cars over there, but you didn't actually enter any of them, and then they picked you up on this. So basically what you did is ran away from the police. You've been in jail for 16 days, 14 days in June and 2 days in July. Or 16 days credit, 16 days, or 2 days in jail. Mr. Dieter, if you're willing to put up $125, you can go get him. Otherwise, you gotta sit for 2 more days.
Yeah, I ain't got it right now because I just lost my job.
All right, you're gonna get out either tomorrow or the next day. And I want you to keep your appointment with Pivotal, but I'm not gonna do a probation here. Hopefully I won't see you again, but if I do, I'll have a chance to do it at that time. All right, Mr. Dieter, you pay $125 or do with 2 additional days in jail. Because I'm not gonna chase you for it. I thought your father was gonna post it, but perhaps not. All right, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck, sir. And 98. Good morning. Are you Patricia Louise Odell?
Yes.
This is Judge Middleton. We met way back in the past.
Yes.
I'm here with your lawyer, Mr. Luke Knopfsinger. Also present is Joshua Robert from the prosecuting attorney's office. You got arrested at Three Rivers Police Department on June 15th for operating while intoxicated. Then they found that you had 2 previous charges, and they charged you with operating while intoxicated as a third offense. They also charge you with resisting obstructing the officers. 2 counts, 3 counts. Derek Bowen, Michael Kendolf, and Steve Dibble, all of the Three Rivers Police Department. Those are
Yes.
felonies punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $2,000. According to Mr. O'Bear, they're willing to dismiss all of the felony charges for a plea to operating while intoxicated second offense based on third offense facts. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000.
Yes.
And attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. So the felony charges would be dismissed if you pled to those 2 misdemeanors. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Other than that, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No,
or threaten you?
no.
And I have an advice of rights form that Mr. Nossinger went over with you earlier this morning. Thank you, Luke. You understand by entering this plea, you will not be having a trial.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about what happened. You actually drove to the Three Rivers Police Department on June 15th. Is that correct?
From what I remember, yes. I don't know what I was pretty drunk.
All right.
Had a bad day.
Yes. Well, you went there apparently to make some sort of complaint. And someone obviously is very drunk when they drive drunk to the police station. Then you tried to leave and the officers didn't want you to leave. Do you recall that part?
Faintly, yeah.
Well, did
I
you
think
struggle
a
with
lot
the
of it-
officers?
Yeah.
What?
I remember a little bit of struggling with them, yeah. I'm not a violent person. I don't know why I'm assuming it's because I was drunk and
What were you
mixing
drinking?
that with whiskey.
Are you on any prescription medication?
Yes, and I think that might have had something to do with it too.
What are you on?
I take anxiety medication and my Prestige antidepressant. I know you're not supposed to drink with that.
No, you're not. Neither one of those contraindicated for alcohol, so that it probably increased the effects of the alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen you in several years. You haven't had a drinking driving case in,
Yeah, I was doing really
Okay.
good.
but this wasn't good.
Yeah,
Do you still live on 7th Street?
yes.
And do you work?
Not at the present moment, no. My fiance does.
What's his name?
Joe Orzel. Well, he was working before I got arrested, so
Okay.
he lost his job because I got arrested, so.
Why is that?
Because I was giving him rides to work because he doesn't have a license.
I see. Well, you're gonna lose your license as a result of this. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember what it was you were going to the police department to file a report about?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
We did get the final lab back yesterday showing that she was a 0.238.
Oh, my. Miss Odell, we had discussed sobriety court, but Luke doesn't think that you're a fit for that because you're probably not gonna get revoked. But I'd like to set this for screening and sentencing sooner rather than later because you're in custody.
Okay.
And your lawyer is hard to schedule. Well, you're a busy man.
The court is a busy court as well.
Yes.
I was hoping to address bond, Judge.
Well, let me look at the calendar first. I could set this for sentencing as early as next Thursday. Thursdays are bad for you, or next Wednesday.
Ooh, Wednesday would, yes.
I've got job interviews.
Trying to get another job?
Trying to hire some help,
Okay.
which a lot of us are doing. Let's see. I'm not inclined to grant a bond reduction at this point. She's got a very high blood alcohol. She has not a lot of memory of what's happening. She's mixing it with prescription medication, and she resisted and obstructed 3 separate police officers. So the trade-off is to set this as soon as I can.
Sure. I was going to note that she was recommended for pretrial supervision. That can take many forms. I don't think she's a flight risk.
I'm gonna leave it where it is.
Sure.
That'll be 10 o'clock in between employee interviews. All right, Miss Odell, I will see you next Thursday, or Wednesday, July 10th at 10 a.m. in between our job interviews. All right, thank you.